If you have been following this year, our main goal was to start or is to start heavily investing in the stock market. Thus, we are not talking about our retirement accounts or our pensions and stuff. We are talking about having a self-directed brokerage accounts where we actively buy stocks, sell stocks, and invest from that brokerage account. So I hope by now, if you have been following, you have had the opportunity to open your brokerage accounts and you've been able to fund the accounts. And now we're going to start on a consistent basis, start to purchase some companies, but as good stewards, we're going to do so at a discount. So we're going to go through charts and know our support, our resistance, where to buy, where to sell. And so today, my main objective is to help us get some tickers that we'll be following from time to time. And I'm actually using Yahoo Finance, and the reason is that these resources that are on Yahoo Finance are free. However, they have the premium version if you would want to dive deep into, if you want to deep dive into some of the stocks that you have on your watch list and at least know more about the companies that you want to invest in or that you are invested in and stuff like that. Yes, they do have the premium version. I mostly use TradingView, which I do so because I have a few indicators that I use. So TradingView actually afford me the resources to add those indicators to my charts. I know there are some people out there that watch that you are in the beginner's phase, and that's fine. I know some people who are also have dabbled into the stock market in and out, and that's also fine. And regardless of what, we are on this journey together. So we are here to learn and to teach each other as well. All right, so let's see. We are going to add a few tickers to our watch list. And just let me orient you a little bit to Yahoo Finance. And as you get in there here, you can also play around with it. So at least you can orient yourself where things are. So let me go back and collapse this. All right. So under my portfolio, I have named it as a pop watch list, but you can name it as you want. All right. So under public watch list, I'm actually here, and it will give you the summary of the tickets that you have chosen, keep track of your holdings, the fundamentals, performance and stuff. And as you can see, under performance, there is a lock because I actually don't have the premium version, so that's fine. This is just to get the necessary information that we need to make a decision. So here I'm going to add a ticker. And I do already have Netflix, so one ticker that I have in mind is Zeta. Zeta is a technology holding company that is currently hot, but I think it's something that I also would like to keep track of right now. Ahmed is one of my favorite YouTubers that I follow on a consistent basis, and he has a Substack on Zeta. So at least you can have a deep dive on Zeta, right? So I'm actually adding Zeta. I want to add the ticker symbol for now. So let's see. Set a public watch list. Add. I want to do it from here. We're going to add figure and why figure. Well, figure tokenization had come to stay, believe it or not. So if we can be able to get a figure at these prices, I think it's a good bet to take on the company. So I just added Meta. And let's add Tesla. Oh, Elon. Love him or hate him. The boy delivers, but he delivers on Elon's time. But the good thing is you just make the investments and you make the decision either to stay in it or to sell it off. from time to time. I have a story about Tesla, let me share. So I got Tesla when Tesla was trading for 170 something. And I think that was after a split. Now, once our president was elected and Elon and Trump had this kerfuffle, the stock can shoot here and then it can dump here and all the emotional stress that investors had to go through. But I'm still sticking with this guy. He's one of my sweetheart. Now, another ticker symbol that I'd like us to be paying attention to is SOFA. I already have SOFA because I could see that. Yes, I do have SOFA already. Another ticker is Palantir. Oh my goodness. I had the opportunity to pick up Palantir when Palantir was trading for 75, and I actually bought into Palantir when it was 150 something. So sometimes it's best to, when you start hearing about the stock and you do a little research, just take a leap of faith because you never know. And I have one or two friends that actually had paid off their mortgages because of Palantir. They invested into it very early. And so this thing works. Whoever tells us that the stock market is a scam, of course it is, but it's something that I'll bet on every day. All right, so next on our list that we want to add is NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA is one of the heavy weighted companies on the stock market. Almost every retirement account holds NVIDIA in their portfolio. So it will be wise to also look into adding NVIDIA. It's not a financial advice. Anything that you hear is actually something, my personal opinion, and I will not share with you anything that I'm not privy to. All right, so remember, investing comes with a risk, so please be careful. All right, so next on the list is Microsoft. Guys, Microsoft is getting cheaper and cheaper by the day. And I hope and I wish and I hope for each one of you that at least you can get 10 to 25 shares of Microsoft at this price, because Microsoft, these are some of the OG companies that the world runs on Microsoft. So it's one of the very good companies to hold, and the market is actually giving us a discount on this thing. So let's take advantage of it. All right. Now, next is HIMS. HIMS just had a kerfuffle with Novo Nordisk, and they took them to court, and now they dropped all the case against them and stuff like that. HIMS, I actually grabbed it at $15, and now HIMS is trading for almost $24. So hopefully this is a price acceptance for us to go up. But if not, we are holding HIMS. I plan to hold HIMS for at least 3 years, but I'll be selling a few from time to time. All right, so next on our list, our crypto play is Coin. I have Coin and Hood to be one of our crypto plays. Right. So Coinbase, and then Hood would be the next one. Why Robinhood? The kids' account is actually going to come online very soon, and I know a lot of parents would want to use Hood. The Hood is a very simple platform to use. I used to trade with Robinhood, but no, I no longer use Robinhood. But it's a good platform to trade on. And thankfully, Robinhood actually made investing accessible to the average Joe, which it's a story that I like about Hood. Now, Hood is currently trading for $73. It looks like we are going to have a flash out to, let's say, $65-50. I'm still buying it though, because I mostly do dollar cost average. So on a consistent base, every 2 weeks, I make sure that I buy something and just leave it in the portfolio, in the account. So Hood is one of the companies that I keep adding to my position. All right, so as you can see, we have successfully built out our watch list. And just for orientation, so under symbols, you see the ticker symbols for each company that we are interested to monitor and to observe. When you see last price, it means that the previous market open, this is the price that these companies closed at. And then the percent change, it's the average volume that was traded per the trading session. And the one thing that I mostly pay attention to very well is the day range, but most especially the 52-week range. Meaning the 52-week range will give you a fairly good idea that this stock has room to run. So for instance, we have Hood right here. In the 52-week range, the range bound for Hood is $28 to $153. So right now, Hood is trading for $73. And you know fairly well that it might not come back to $29, let's say $30, but at least it might come. Hood, we may get to purchase Hood around $50, $60. So such a catch, if you can get 10, 15, 25 shares of this at this price, and people that dollar cost average, at least on a consistent basis, you can be adding to your position. All right. So what I mostly do is that when it's coming cheap, the stock is becoming much cheaper based on the price, because sometimes you also have to look at the PE ratio of the stock. It tells you, is it cheaper? Is it too expensive? Is it cheaper? Is it too expensive? And stuff like that. But for now, we are just going to focus on the price for now. As time goes on, we will learn how to analyze the stock and see that the price at which the stock is trading for, is it cheaper or is it too expensive? And with that, you can make a decision. Sometimes you really, really want the stock to the point that you don't care the price, you just buy. I have friends that they just buy. Tesla could be trading for $500, they just buy. Why? Because they've created a system. And with that system, the system would be that with each bi-weekly, they have to purchase $500 fractional shares or whatever of Tesla. So they just do it, which is also fine. But you tweak as per your risk tolerance, because there is risk, and as per your financial status. So if you have whatever it is, there are some platforms that you can trade fractional shares. And Fidelity is one which I like, because let's say Meta right now, Meta is like 600 and something. You may not have 600 and something to purchase Meta, but at least you can purchase 200 of Meta, which will be a fractional share. And let's say as the week progresses, you can be adding 200, and by the time you realize you have maybe 5 shares of Meta or 15 shares of Meta, whatever. But at least you are making a progress by the day. So this is not perfection. We are not looking for perfections here. We are gradually progressing as time goes on, but we have to be consistent in what we are engaging in. All right, so I digress. But at least I mostly pay attention to the 52-week range, meaning, and then I ask the question, does this stock have room to run? So Hood right now, it has a lot of room to run. Right now, from $73 to almost $153. So that's within a year or two, definitely Hood will be trading much higher. And then the daily charts. Now let's go to Hood and see what's going on. The one thing I mostly do is I look at these charts on a consistent basis. And I know some people, we have a fairly busy life. So not a lot of people have the ability to look at the charts and see what's going on and stuff like that. The best thing would be to let's say after chatting every week, you put on an alert. So that had helped me a great deal, so that at least if I find a good buy, so the best thing would be to put an alert. That's mostly once you put the alert, I'll be showing how we put on alert. So at least when the price trigger, it will alert you whatever you're doing. You can excuse yourself, hey, go put in your order and call it a day. Or sometimes you can stage. You can put in a limit order with your brokerage, and once the price trigger, they can buy the stock on your behalf. Now we are looking at the monthly charts, and you could tell that this thing had pulled from almost 150 to $73. It's either buyers are going to step in here or let it fall even further. Right here. Awesome. So horizontal, let's do this. All right. So it's either we have price acceptance here, or we come even further. Oh, come on. Oh, we come even further. Right, zones. So right here, right now we are here. So it's either right now it's trading, hood is trading for $73. Right now it could be that we can flash if the markets, we'll see how the market goes on tomorrow, but it can flash to 60, and if there is price acceptance, we can bounce and go up, or we can even flash further. But if we can get hood at 50, that will be sweet price to purchase hood at. Hood at 50, that'll be a sweet price. All right, we can, if there is no price acceptance here, buyers will step in to purchase hood to go up. We may flash down, and even flashing down is much better because we can get to purchase hood at a cheaper price. All right. Now I'm just using the line graph. You can also do the candles, which I know most people do see red, green, whatnot, but you can change it and tweak it as you just to, so you can see the visibility for a better visibility. But mostly I try to use the line, which would the mountain came from the line, which mostly it's good because it tells me the peaks where there was an action. It gives me the peaks where there was an action, so it helps me to see. It gives me good visibility into where my zones can be. Know your zone, save your life.